You might think the crown jewels are locked behind lasers, motion sensors, or some futuristic vault. Nope. Their defense is almost laughably old school and terrifyingly effective. The system hasn't changed much since 1671, when an audacious Irish adventurer named Thomas Blood tried to steal them by flattening the imperial state crown with a mallet and stuffing it under his coat. And what the king did next was nothing short of unconventional. Fast forward to today. Those same jewels are encased in bomb-proof glass, watched by 22 armed soldiers, 37 elite guards who actually live inside the tower with their families, and 7 ravens that, according to legend, literally hold the fate of the kingdom. Every night, a 700-year-old ceremony verifies their security. And there's one World War II detail so secret, it stayed hidden for 75 years, and even from the future Queen Elizabeth. But the real security isn't cameras, guns, or glass. It's something far more human and far more disciplined. A routine so strict, it has survived centuries. The crown jewels aren't just shiny objects. They're history, power, and fortune all rolled into one. The collection has over 100 pieces, studded with 23,578 gemstones. The imperial state crown alone boasts 2,868 diamonds, and the Cullinan 1 diamond. On its own, it's worth $400 million. The total value of the collection? Somewhere between 3 and 5 billion pounds, but here's the kicker. You can't insure it. No insurer in the world would touch it. These jewels are literally priceless, and they can't be sold, traded, or replaced. Getting near them isn't just hard, it's nearly impossible. And only 3 people on Earth are allowed to physically touch the jewels: the monarch, the crown jeweler, and the Archbishop of Canterbury. Everyone else, locked out. And yet, despite centuries of extreme security, someone did try to steal them. What happened next is the stuff of legend, and it's what turned this collection from a treasure into a fortress. It's 1671. Thomas Blood, a daring and utterly audacious adventurer, strolls into history disguised as a humble parson. His target? The crown jewels. His first move is genius. He befriends the 77-year-old keeper of the jewels, spinning a tale about a wealthy nephew marrying the keeper's daughter. By morning, he's invited into the tower itself. Then the chaos begins. Blood and 4 accomplices spring into action. They throw a cloak over the unsuspecting keeper, beat him with a mallet, gag him, and stab him to keep him quiet. Blood flattens the imperial state crown until it can be shoved under his coat. Meanwhile, his son saws the scepter in half, and another accomplice stuffs the sovereign's orb down his trousers. Stop, and picture this for a second. What reads like a slapstick comedy in a movie was very real and terrifying for anyone present. The plan hits a snag. The keeper's son returns from Flanders. The old man shouts at the top of his lungs, "Treason, murder, the crown is stolen!" Guards swarm, and Blood is caught at the iron gate. You'd expect a brutal ending, but here's where it gets wild. Blood refuses to speak to anyone but King Charles II. In front of the king, he casually claims the jewels are worth just 6,000 pounds, not 100,000 pounds. Charles just laughs. And just like that, Blood isn't punished. He's pardoned, given estates, a pension, and becomes a minor celebrity at court. The audacity of it stunned everyone. This brazen heist changed everything. Armed guards were permanently stationed at the tower. The simple old system of a man with keys was abandoned, and in its place rose a security setup far more extreme than anything the 17th century had ever seen. Think about it. 3 to 5 billion pounds in priceless jewels, impossible to insure, and in 354 years, only one person ever tried to steal them, and that brazen thief got pardoned. How do you keep something like that safe? Not with a single lock or a guard. The crown jewels are protected by 7 layers of security, stacked like an impenetrable fortress, each with its own story, some dating back nearly 1,000 years. And it all begins with the building itself, the Tower of London, a stone fortress designed not just to intimidate, but to withstand sieges, fire, and time itself. The Tower of London isn't just a building, it's a fortress designed to intimidate and defend. Nearly 1,000 years old, with walls 15 feet thick, it covers 12 acres of fortified grounds. The White Tower, built by William the Conqueror in 1078, was once England's tallest structure, a towering symbol of royal authority. Its narrow windows, winding staircases, and hidden chambers weren't built for comfort. They were built to keep intruders out. Every battlement, moat, and gate tells the story of sieges, rebellions, and executions. Today, 22 soldiers patrol the tower armed with SA-80 rifles, always rotating in 2-hour shifts. Their positions aren't just about being seen. One post, known as the silent post, is so secretive that even most employees don't know where it is. These guards aren't just bodyguards. They're trained to respond to every possible scenario, from intrusions to attempted sabotage. The yeoman warders, or Beefeaters, are more than ceremonial figures. They are elite guardians with almost mythical qualifications. 32 to 37 of them live inside the tower with their families. To even be considered, you need 22 years of exemplary military service, the rank of warrant officer, and the long service and good conduct medal. Then comes the final test, memorizing 900 years of tower history in just 6 months. Founded in 1485, they are the UK's oldest military corps. The first female yeoman, Moira Cameron, joined in 2007, breaking centuries of tradition, and they live, eat, and breathe the tower. They're toast. May you never die a yeoman warder means more than words, but a pledge to duty. Clad in Tudor-era uniforms, their knowledge of hidden passages and secret exits is unmatched. A human alarm system honed over centuries. Modern technology blends seamlessly with ancient defenses. The crown jewels sit behind bomb-proof glass, on moving walkways that allow guards to inspect them continuously without touching them. Over 100 CCTV cameras cover every angle, many hidden in plain sight. Vaults may be nuclear attack resistant, climate controlled, and equipped with motion and heat sensors. Photography is strictly forbidden, and classified security protocols ensure that even insiders cannot know everything. The result? A security system so advanced it's invisible, turning secrecy into a shield. The crown jewels don't just sit in a glass case. Every movement is strictly controlled. They can only leave under Lord Chamberlain's direct authority, always escorted by armed police. Only 3 people in the world are ever allowed to touch them: the monarch, the crown jeweler, and the Archbishop of Canterbury. The handling process is meticulous, from inventory checks to escort protocols. Everything is repeated and double-checked, layer upon layer, leaving no room for error. Legend says that if the ravens ever leave the tower, the kingdom will fall. At least 6 must always remain. Today there are 7, each cared for by a raven master, a position held by only 6 people to date. Their intelligence surprisingly strong and occasionally mischievous. One raven, George, was notoriously fired for eating TV aerials. By the name of Merlina, vanished in 2021, sparking a citywide search, while Grog was last seen on a pub crawl in 1981. The raven's presence is more than superstition. They serve as an extra layer of observation, keeping the tower alive and alert in ways humans can't. For over 700 years, every night at 9:52 p.m. The chief yeoman warder carries the king's keys and locks every gate in a ritual known as the ceremony of the keys. The chief yeoman warder steps out in full Tudor dress, lantern glowing in one hand and the king's keys in the other. 4 armed guards fall in around him. Together they move from gate to gate, locking the outer entrance first, then the middle tower, then the byward tower, before disappearing back down Water Lane. Unchanged for centuries, they recite the scripted dialogue. Halt! Who comes there? The keys. Whose keys? King Charles's keys. The last post is sounded to mark the end of the procedure. It's not just ritual, it's an unbroken chain of human vigilance, discipline, and memory that no alarm or camera can replace. In 7 centuries, the ceremony has been late exactly once, by 7 minutes, during a World War II bombing raid. But the most extreme thing they ever did to protect the crown jewels wasn't any of this. In 1939, as the threat of Nazi invasion loomed over Britain, the crown jewels weren't just locked up. They were evacuated in the most unassuming way imaginable. Each piece was carefully pried from its setting, wrapped in protective cloth, and stuffed into a Bath Oliver biscuit tin. But the hiding spot was anything but simple. The tin was lowered 60 feet below Windsor Castle into a secret vault tucked beneath a medieval escape tunnel, a passage used centuries before for emergencies. Only 4 people in the entire kingdom knew the location. Not even Princess Elizabeth, who was 14 at the time, had any idea where her future crown jewels had gone. And that was just the start. The Tower of London itself had its own contingency plans. Certain rooms were rigged to flood in case of a break-in. Secret caches of gold and silver were smuggled out through tunnels leading under the Thames. Guards were trained in blackout drills, and decoy treasures were ready to be displayed to fool any potential thieves or spies. Every corridor, every gate, every stone seemed to have a purpose in a defense network that combined medieval cunningness with wartime ingenuity. And the secrecy was so absolute that the operation remained classified for 75 years. The story only emerged in 2018 when cameras captured Queen Elizabeth II, now 91, learning for the first time that the treasures she had grown up seeing were once stashed in a biscuit tin under her own castle. It's a moment that perfectly illustrates the obsessive, paranoid, genius-level measures taken to protect Britain's most priceless treasures. A mix of history, theatrics, and brilliance that no traditional alarm could ever match. Extreme doesn't mean flashy alarms or high-tech gadgets. It means 950 years of layered knowledge, a fortress built to withstand sieges, and guards who don't just patrol. They live, eat, and raise their families inside the tower. It means 22-year service requirements, centuries-old ceremonies that double as security checks, ravens that are more than superstition and, when all else fails, a biscuit tin hidden 60 feet underground